Hi. So I'm currently hiking the Via Dinarica. I am in Croatia. It's a trail that goes from Slovenia all the way down to Albania. And I am about 300 kilometers in so far, and I just wanted to say hey and give you guys a little update and just chat for a minute. It's been a while since I've uploaded a long form video on here, and I just wanted to say hi and see how everything's going. So I am currently in Croatia in this beautiful little homestay. I've got a little room to myself over here. I'm just eating some dinner on the patio. And yeah, I took a couple of days off. I've been hiking for about 7 or 8 days now. Yeah, something like that. And the trail conditions, whew, they've been an absolute nightmare for like 60% of it, I suppose. So I kind of got to the point where I just thought these conditions are not worth continuing on this section, because I just felt like I was using so much time and energy to get nowhere. Like I was still, I was getting like 28 kilometers a day or something, but I was taking like all of my effort to do that, and it was not fun or enjoyable. I was picking off like hundreds of ticks, and I was like climbing through waist deep nettle and following old trails that don't really exist anymore, and basically just having a bad time. And I thought, you know what? I don't actually have to be doing this. I'm like supposed to be out here because I want to be and because I think it's enjoyable, and like, yes, the challenge and the adventure is part of that, but bushwhacking for 60 some odd kilometers is not really on my list of things to do with my time. So I kind of poked around and tried to find some intel on like when the trail would get better, and it turns out that near the Velebit National Park, that's where things get a little bit better. So that is where I am headed. I'm just in Senja right now, which is a little coastal town in Croatia. It's beautiful. I'll show you the sunset in a minute. Yeah, basically I just thought, why am I wasting my time doing something so awful that's like not part of the journey, like, yes, okay, it's like how you get from A to B, but it didn't seem worth it to me. And I think that like after so many trails, I don't have anything to like prove to myself in that sort of way, in the like, oh, I need to do every step of this thing, because like I'm just doing this for me and for fun and to like show you guys what these trails look like. And yeah, it just didn't seem worth it to go bushwhacking for like another 4 days. So I skipped ahead just a little bit, just enough to kind of get past the worst of the like poorly maintained trails, which is, it's unfortunate because it'd be awesome if these were like even remotely maintained, but realistically it was like it just was taking forever. It's tricky. That's what happens when you don't have funding for parks, right? Is that these trails get overgrown and then they're really hard to do and they're not enjoyable and you miss out on things, and it's too bad that the trails have not been maintained. I'm curious if there's like a plan for that, because it's so far it's like the idea of the trail is really cool and I love where it's going and what it's doing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's coming next. But yeah, to do 100 kilometers of bushwhacking is not interesting to me. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and like chat with you guys. I feel like it's been so long since I've uploaded anything like long form on here. I finished the Japan trip with my brother and that was excellent, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the like daily little shorts that I've been posting. I'm obviously a little bit behind if I'm in Croatia by now, but I'm nearly done with the series. It's been fun to put those together, but also like a lot of work to just keep doing those little pieces. But hopefully you guys have been enjoying them. I'm curious whether you like that versus the long form stuff. I do still have like a lot of long form footage from Japan that I can share with you guys, and I'll post that at some point. My summer is pretty booked up with hikes, which is awesome. This one is going to take probably another 35 days, I imagine, to get to Albania. The whole trail, so the Via Dinarica, is a trail that goes from Slovenia through Croatia, through Bosnia, Herzegovina, through Montenegro, and ends in Albania. It's about 1,300 kilometers long, and I have like 43 days or something that I didn't have something like set to do. And so I decided to come out here and do as much of that trail as I could and just like see these countries. I've never been to any of these places before. I never visited Slovenia or Croatia or any of the other countries for that matter, and I was very curious to see what their hiking is like and what the mountains look like. So my experience on this trail so far has been really interesting because there's very little information about it, and I don't know any of the languages or really have any idea sort of where things are, or like what camping is allowed, or where to do the grocery shopping. Sometimes the stores don't even show up on Google Maps. So logistically it's been really challenging, but like that's always kind of part of the fun puzzle. The not ever really knowing where I'm allowed to camp is a little tricky, because I don't love like not following the rules in these types of situations. So I have had to camp in a couple of spots that were like probably not totally legal, but I didn't really have another option. So that's been a little bit weird. I think going forward there are more like mountain huts and like cabins and things that you can stay in for free, more or less. So I'm looking forward to checking those out. Yeah, it also made me realize that like trail vlogs, the things that I make, are actually really valuable. I started following a girl named Clara who has hiked this trail a few years ago, and she put out a couple of vlogs just sort of like showing her experience. And they were so useful because I could kind of see a bit of what was going on and like what to expect, and she helped me find a couple places to stay, which was super nice of her. So it made me feel like, oh, okay, yeah, the stuff that I put out here is maybe useful and actually helps people out. And of course, like, I get messages from you guys that tell me that that's the truth, but sometimes when I'm like, bushwhacking through waist-high nettle, I'm like, what is the point of this? Why do I do this? Like, there's lots of reasons that I do it, but sometimes I have to remind myself of those reasons when the trail is horrible. It's been an interesting year so far. I mean, not the whole year, but I did set out for 2025 to be like a full year of like hiking and content creation and sharing my adventures. So I saved up a bunch of money over the summer, and then I have been like just full-time on the road since the beginning of March. So I got to Japan, I hiked the Japan Trail, and then I did a little biking thing in Taiwan with a friend of mine, and now I'm just more or less on trails until like the end of October, kind of. I'll give you more info on that later. But I sort of got to the point where I want to be able to do this full-time. I want to be able to share with you guys and take you on my adventures and make this like a sustainable, somewhat career type thing. I don't know if career is the right word for like being a hiking vlogger, but that's really the goal. I would love to be able to, make that work. And so far it's like, it's in its infancy stages of really like paying itself off. All of you guys who have purchased my book, that's been super awesome. I know that has been helpful for a lot of people. And you guys watch the YouTube videos, and I just got a really cool partnership with a shoe brand that once the ink is dry I will share with you guys, because I will number one be contractually obligated, but number two, I'm excited to share with you because it's a company that I think aligns with my personal values of like sustainability and like using less to do more, basically. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. That's the other thing, is I really value you guys as an audience, and I don't want to just like share dumb stuff that you don't need. I'm not looking to like contribute to this hyper consumerist culture that really feels antithetical to wilderness and to being outside. So I don't want to try and sell you a bunch of stuff that you don't need. So I'm very like picky with the brands and the partnerships that I choose and the things that I share with you guys, because I want them to actually be useful and mean something. So that's from my end. Hold me to that, because that's the intention and the plan. I've got this time to be solo, which is quite fun. It feels a little different going from like adventures with friends or like with my brother and having so much time with someone else to all of a sudden just be like, boop, okay, alone again. So it's taken a little bit of adjustment. There are also no other hikers on this trail so far. I haven't seen another hiker in a week. I've met other people on trail, which has been really fun, or like people that live in the places that I've been going through. My first night was really lovely. I met a woman named Nina. She had a sign outside of her property that just said like, if you need rest or energy, come in. And I was like, all right, curiosity. So I walk up the steps to her place and see her through the window and wave, and she invites me in, and she's like, so what do you need? Do you need a meal? Do you need a coffee? Do you need somewhere to sleep? And I was like, honestly, all of the above. But like whatever, you know, I'm easy. So yeah, she made me a coffee, and by the time we'd finished drinking our coffee, she'd invited me to stay. She had a yurt in the back of her property that she let me sleep in for the night. We had dinner together, we had breakfast in the morning, and then she even walked with me for a couple of kilometers to take her dog out in the morning. So that was really lovely. The next night, I walked a pretty long day and ended up getting to what I thought was going to be like a dormitory where I could stay. Turns out it's a school, but in the summer months, it is a dormitory. So currently school is still in session because it's still too early in the season. So I was like, oh no, do you think I could camp? And they were like, yeah, you can camp in the side yard and, you know, come by if you need anything. So I went over to fill my water bottles, and by the time I'd finished my water bottles, the school chef had come out and like brought me a big plate of potato salad and like a coffee and water and whatever, and we just sat and chatted about the trail and life and all that, and I just thought that was so lovely. And then yeah, I camped in the side yard and it was super comfortable. A couple nights later, a woman who worked for the national park saw me on the side of the road, and I had a long road walk to go, and she was like, you know, do you want to ride? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, because all I'm doing is walking on the side of this highway for the next 10 kilometers. So she dropped me off, and she's like, do you know where you're staying tonight? And I was like, no, I have no idea. She's like, oh, okay, there's a good spot right before the national park, because you can't camp in the national parks. So she's like, I've got a spot for you. It's safe from the bears. You'll be good. And I was like, okay. So she drops me off in this little park, and she's like, yeah, just in the back corner, you can put your tent. It's no big deal. And I'm like, oh, so lovely. So far, even though logistics are difficult to manage, the people have been really helpful and really accommodating, and I've been able to find places to be. And so that has been really wonderful. Anyway, I think this is getting a little bit long. I'm having a good time. I'm like just being like getting reacquainted with being alone all the time again. So that's been an interesting adjustment. Usually, like, I don't think about it, but I think just because I spent so much time with other people over the last couple of months, it was like a noticeable change. So that's been fun. The landscapes are beautiful, and I think now that the trail condition theoretically will be improving, things will become a lot more enjoyable, and I'll be able to just like appreciate what's going on more. Without just like trying to brush ticks off me before they bite into my flesh. There's so many of them out here, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it. And I have these little like freckles on my arms that look just like ticks, I guess, when you think about it. And so it's been hard to like, anyway, find everything and get everything off my body and whatever. So but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Hit me up with any questions about the trail. I'm of course vlogging it for all of you, and I will share the first episodes hopefully soon. It might have to be when this was over. I'm not sure what my like Wi-Fi situation will be, but anyway, if you want more like updates, or if you just want to support me and what I'm doing out here, you know, trying to share these wilderness places with you guys, you can join my Patreon. I post some pictures and a little bit of writing, and mostly just pop in there to say hi and thank you. So I'll post the link below. But other than that, happy hiking, have a wonderful summer, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.